You are listening to Squeeze Play, Book 4 of the Nadia Wolf Series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2014. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices. Chapter 1.
I thought you might not show.
Caleb said as I stepped inside his condo a few minutes past midnight.
Are you ready, kitten?
He asked, bringing me into his arms for a warm hug. I nodded with a tired smile. Desire enveloped me through his simple embrace. I had realized something on the flight home with Grayson. I had given my heart to two men. No matter tonight's outcome, my heart has been split forever. How it happened, I'll never know. But one thing is clear. I will never be whole again.
Are the stakes the same?
He asked, nuzzling my neck.
No last-minute switch.
God help me. $1 million of his money pinned against a year of dating him. In reality, I couldn't lose. But even then, the stakes were too high and filled with what-ifs. Yes, the stakes are the same, but can we change the game? He eyed me with a frown.
No seducing? I was looking forward to it.
You can do that any time, I said, knowing I wasn't strong enough to withstand his seduction in order to win. The original bet was that he could make me beg him to come to bed. In my sexually charged and emotionally off-balanced state, it wasn't a competition. He would win unchallenged. There'd be no point in having a wager. Let's do this quick and simple, I offered, not wanting to stall a moment longer. I held out a pair of dice. Highest roll wins. He touched the dice softly and then closed my fingers around them, tucking them into my palm. He accepted the change with a small nod.
Ladies first.
I stepped over to the dining room table as my fingers toyed with the dice. Not even knowing which outcome I wanted anymore, I let the dice tumble out of my hands. They bounced on the table, clattering to a stop.
8.
Caleb said, gathering the dice as he gazed at me. He knew exactly the outcome he wanted. I envied him. He gave the dice a quick blow and let them fly. We watched breathlessly as they tumbled. Fate's dice were cast. 6, I said breathlessly. I won. Caleb stood motionless.
You won.
I'm so sorry, I mumbled, not understanding how I'd won. Caleb never loses. It was a simple fact, and one that no one should forget.
Why are you sorry?
He said. A forced smile showed his elusive dimple, which told me he wasn't happy.
You won. I lost. That's what gambling is all about. There is always a winner and a loser.
But you're normally the winner. His hand reached out to mine.
Kitten, you're supposed to be happy when you win.
But I don't want your money.
Then why did you agree to the wager?
His blue eyes delved into mine.
What do you want?
That's just it. I don't know what I want. The dice were supposed to choose. But they had given me my choice back. Grayson or Caleb, I didn't want the choice back.
Do you want me?
He questioned, drawing me close.
You already won the $1 million. You can have me too. Who said there needs to be a loser?
You did?
That's gambling, not us.
His fingers threaded through my hair.
I'd never want you to feel like you lost to me. Wagering between us should be fun, not scary. I want you. All of you.
He gathered me and held me close.
Spend the night with me.
In that moment, everything hurt. My head, my heart, and my body all cried for clarity. This shouldn't be so difficult, I scolded myself. I should be able to choose who I want to be with. How is it possible to love two people with the same fierce, urgent need? Why does it hurt so much? And then what? I asked. What happens after tonight?
Tomorrow, of course.
He said with a teasing smile. Caleb, I need to know what you're looking for. What you want. Are you asking for a serious relationship? I questioned, hoping his thoughts might trigger my own answer. He didn't hesitate before saying,
I'm asking for anything you're willing to give.
"What if I'm willing to give more than you want?" He paused as his eyes studied mine.
What are you saying?
Our questions volleyed back and forth, neither saying what we truly wanted to say, or at least I wasn't. Suddenly fearful of his rejection, I brushed off his arms and headed toward the door.
Where are you going?
He followed, grasping my arm before I could leave. I stood with my hand at the door, wanting to run, needing to run. This isn't like me, I thought. It's only been in the last several months that these confusing, mixed emotions have surfaced to the forefront. Now everything I do, everything I say, stems from those emotions. I'm a poker player, damn it. It'd be different if I could lock my emotions away like normal, but I couldn't. Not these emotions. They were too strong, too encompassing. It made me wonder if I'd ever be able to sit at a poker table again without flushing or rising to the bait of whatever donkey was currently unsettling the table.
Kitten,
Caleb said softly.
tell me what's going on.
I felt the stinging burn of tears as they pooled behind my eyes. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what to do.
If it's about staying here tonight,
No. Well, maybe. Hell, I didn't know. I felt like a tossed penny, not sure if I was tails up or down. The only thing I did know was that I was falling and fast. Caleb coaxed me from the door to sit with him on the couch. He faced me while searching my eyes.
you know who you are. You're the same woman I met years ago. What is you so lost?
I shook my head, wondering that myself. It's something I have to deal with on my own. I couldn't possibly tell him that I love both him and Grayson, especially since I don't know his feelings. Damn feelings. I was trapped in a hormonal woman's body, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. Maybe Roy is free tonight. He could take me to all the manly dives he frequents. I'll drink some Jack and smoke a god-awful cigar. He'd put me to rights. Hell, I'd even snap $1 into a stripper's G-string as long as it would keep me from having so many gut-wrenching feelings. I'm sorry, Caleb. I've been acting like a complete crybaby. I came here prepared to lose. It just took me by surprise.
It took me by surprise, too. I'll have the money to you by tomorrow, so you might as well stay the night.
He said with a sly grin. I can't, I said, searching for a valid reason. Muffin is trying to take over my apartment with her new husband. I felt his gaze lingering, studying. I couldn't lift my eyes to his.
Do you want me to come and help? We could at least defend your bed if nothing else.
He said with a smirk. It probably wouldn't help. I'm sure she's drooling on my pillow as we speak.
Then why go? Stay here.
I want more, I blurted, quickly regretting it. Caleb paused hesitantly.
More of what?
I sighed. Clearly my heart wanted to say what my brain tried to squelch. I want more of you. His laugh was rich and smooth.
You can have all of me.
I mean in a relationship. A real relationship. He took my hands in his. The warmth and softness soothed my raw nerves.
I'd like that, kitten. I've always liked you.
Liked. If that wasn't the bucket of ice water for the burning heart, I didn't know what was. My hands jerked away from his. It's different for me. I don't like you. His eyes widened in surprise and hurt. I love you, you idiot, I shouted, sounding a little on the crazy side. It took a moment for him to understand. His eyes darkened as he leaned forward, capturing my lips. Our mouths crushed together with an explosion of need. I grasped his shirt, tugging him closer. His weight toppled me over onto the couch as he settled over me. His lips demanded, his hands ravaged. Desire rampaged in its purest, raw form. It was everything I needed to shut off my mind and just give in to the wave of passion. But he didn't say it. It was there in the back of my mind. He didn't say the words. My hand splayed across his chest as I pushed him gently away. He misinterpreted.
Should we go to the bedroom? There are so many things I want to do to you.
he said with a husky voice. I found myself standing and following in Caleb's wake as he urged me along. Wait, I said as we plunged into his dark bedroom. You know I'm emotional tonight. I'm not used to feeling so. Vulnerable and lost. I need to know how this is going to end.
Hopefully with multiple orgasms.
He teased, dragging me up against him to nip my lip. God, he feels good. It took an effort of steel to push back. His hold loosened. On an ordinary day, I'd be quite pleased with that. But I need to know if you care for me at all, or if this is a one-night stand.
Are you kidding me?
Without any light to see his facial expression, I had to judge his tone. Baffled might be a good word to use. I know I'm being difficult, but there's a reason, I said.
What could possibly make you doubt that I care for you?
He paused, waiting for an answer. Never mind. I'm being stupid. This was all going horribly wrong. He'll never say the words, and I shouldn't expect him to. Hell, if our roles were reversed, I'd be wondering what meds he'd skipped.
Something happened on vacation, didn't it?
He asked. I stiffened and cursed myself for doing so. He picked up on that blatant tell.
Can't talk your way out of it now. I felt your whole body twitch. What is it?
I should go. Let me cool off and we'll talk tomorrow, I said, cutting through to the front door. He slid in front, blocking my path.
What happened on vacation?
My heart sunk into my feet. I promise I'll tell you everything tomorrow. Please let me go.
Is it because I didn't say the words? Do you want me to say I love you?
I eyed him. His features were etched with confusion. I only want you to say it if you mean it. His brow darkened, and I felt uncharacteristic tension building in him.
You never gave me the chance to love you. How many times have I tried to get close to you and you pushed me away? I want to love you, Nadia, but you can't expect me to instantly say the words when you keep yourself distant.
He took a step back, though his hand moved closer, touching my cheek.
Perhaps you do need some time to sort this out. I'll have the money over to you by tomorrow.
He stepped toward the door to open it. As I walked numbly out, he said,
I'm always here for you, kitten.
I gave a tight nod. It was the only thing I was capable of at the moment. I made it as far as my apartment before I stalled. Grayson sat on the landing in jeans and a t-shirt, looking utterly disheveled. And handsome. I didn't think he was going to wait for me. My aching heart felt comforted, even though guilt tugged at it. Had things gone differently with Caleb, Grayson would have sat here alone all night. I rubbed over my heart, feeling overwhelmed.
Well?
Grayson asked hesitantly with a creased brow.
Did you win or…
I won. His smile beamed as he jumped from the ground and pulled me into his arms.
I've been so worried. I can't believe you won.
Neither can I mumbled, absorbing his embrace. I thought for sure I'd lose.
Thank God it's over. Please, never wager with him again. I don't think my heart can take another night like this. I kept kicking myself for letting you leave. But I knew I couldn't stop you, nor did I have any right.
Being in his arms felt right, as if coming home after a long trip. In Caleb's arms, I felt. I shook my head. I refused to compare two men who were completely different, and yet had one thing in common. A 50% stake on my heart. A tear crept up, stinging as it slid down my cheek. I quickly dashed it away. Don't worry, I won't.
Do you want to go to my place? You can relax in the hot tub. We'll celebrate with champagne.
I don't really feel like celebrating right now. I just want my bed.
You'll have to take a number. Muffin is in there.
Damn. I'll just kick her out, I said, reaching for the door. No one was going to stand between me and my bed.
You may want to wait. There've been disturbing noises coming from your apartment.
Like what? And then we heard the call of the wild. Muffin's deep-throated grunts intermingled with a fervent, high-pitched yelping. Is that? I wondered. No, it couldn't be. But it was. The sounds of groaning springs and a rhythmically clattering headboard had me jumping away from the door.
What's all that racket?
Frankie asked as he poked his head out of his apartment door.
I'm trying to entertain.
It's Muffin, I said in horror.
Is she doing some sort of dance? If so, tell her to cool it. I don't need the ceiling caving in.
She's not dancing. The fervent wails, groans, and clattering reached epic levels.
Dear Lord, she's mating.
Frankie exclaimed, horrified.
She'll hurt the little man.
My bed will never be the same. I shuddered. I'm buying a new bed with Caleb's money. No, my money. I groaned. I can't keep the money. My stomach hurts just thinking about it. About Caleb and Grayson. About Muffin mating in my bed. It was all too much.
Let's go. You're not going to want to stay here.
At least not until it was fumigated. Maybe not even after that.
You two run along. No need for everyone to suffer through the sounds. Mark will take care of Gus.
Mark is here? I asked. Frankie nodded.
He started his 2 weeks of servitude. My Italian leathers are buffed and shined. It's almost time for my foot rub.
You're doing it wrong.
A voice complained from inside Frankie's apartment.
Haven't you ever waxed before?
My eyebrows rose. Who is waxing who?
Mark said he knew how to wax, but I think he's just trying to torture leopard pants.
Mark and leopard pants in Frankie's apartment? And Muffin and her new husband in mine. This building was worse than the Twilight Zone. Does anyone realize it's 1 o'clock in the morning? I asked. Frankie twisted his mouth into a frown.
Did you know you're in Vegas? Seriously, how long have you lived here?
A ripping sound followed by a scream echoed in the stairwell. Frankie peered into the apartment. With a nonchalant wave, he said,
He's okay.
Between the bickering, yelps, screams, calls, shouting, springs, and clattering, my circuits were headed for an excruciating meltdown. Grayson gave an assessing look and urged me downstairs and into his quiet car. I numbly followed. Grayson drove for a few miles before saying,
You can stay with me as long as you want. It's quiet and there's no one to steal your bed.
Your bed, you mean? I corrected.
I'll give you whatever bed you want. I know you're tired and you've been through a lot. You can sleep without fear that I'll attack.
We're going to your house? I asked, feeling a wave of calm settle. I didn't want to see his penthouse ever again. Too many memories.
Yes. Since I gave my notice, I also gave up use of the penthouse.
What are you going to do?
Live at my house.
No, I mean, what are you going to do for work?
I'm financially secure enough not to have to work. However, to stop working completely has me a little nervous. I really don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
You shouldn't have quit on my account, I said.
I didn't. Well, I did. You were the one who opened my eyes. I didn't realize how small of a life I was living.
He said thoughtfully.
True, I was living a businessman's dream, but what kind of life is that if you have no one to enjoy it with? I have to learn how to balance life. However, I have a feeling it may take time.
At least you have the time now,
I hope you'll spend it with me.
he said, sliding a meaningful look to me. I would like that, I said sincerely.